Want to find some fossils? Well, in this episode, we will meet a real paleontologist as he leads us on a fossil-filled journey to the hills of northwest Georgia, and you won't believe what we discover. Welcome to Every Rock Has a Story.
Hey guys, my name is Mavi and this is the rock I'm showing today. What I'm seeing is sort of almost like barnacles and almost like shells, like fossil. And I'm wondering how did it get onto this rock? And how did it get flat? Ethan, tell me more about this rock.
Thank you, Mavi, for introducing this rock to all of us. And you guys, Mavi was right on. This thing is absolutely packed with fossils. Look at them all. They look like little fan-shaped shells, and some of them do kind of remind me of barnacles, but that's not what they are, and that's not what they were. These fossil shells are examples of what a paleontologist would call brachiopods. Brachiopods are ancient creatures that dominated the shallow seas hundreds of millions of years ago. Now here, the brachiopod fossils are packed in this very flat sedimentary rock. Now I'm going to put this on our rock spinner, and I'm going to add one little drop of acid onto the rock. If it fizzes, that means that the rock is limestone. Let's find out. Oh yeah, it's limestone for sure. Look at it fizz. So we've seen limestones in some other episodes of Every Rock Has a Story as well. Fossil collecting is great fun, if you know where to go. Now, I have a paleontologist friend who showed me exactly where to collect this rock, and I'd like to take you there so you can be part of our fossil hunt too. Let's go. Hey, Cam.
Hi, Ethan. How are you?
It's great. Nice to meet you. I'm with Cameron Muskelly. Cameron is a paleontologist here in Atlanta, Georgia. And Cam, you've invited us down here to go on a fossil hunt, right? We're going to go find some fossils.
Yes, absolutely. But before we go find some fossils, I would actually like to come and show you some fossils that I have in my own personal collection.
All right, can you take us?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Sweet.
All right, Ethan, this is some of the stuff that I wanted to show you here today. So I've got this piece. This is a piece of limestone, and it's got a whole bunch of seashells in it called brachiopods.
These are brachiopods? Can
Yes,
I take a look?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then what else do we have?
So we've also got this really interesting fossil. This is probably one of the prized possessions that you may get to find at the site that we're going to.
Ooh.
This right here is the tail end of a trilobite.
Oh, I can see it right down there.
Right, exactly. And the last thing I actually have to show you is this. You actually may recognize this, but this is actually a snail fossil.
Yeah, you can see that little coil shape of a snail. We call these gastropods, right? From
exactly.
the ancient oceans?
Yes.
Wow, so we might have a chance to find gastropods, brachiopods, and if we're lucky, maybe even a trilobite at the place you're going to take us.
Yes, we will.
Wow. Now, before we leave, I got to ask, Cameron, this room is incredible. It's almost like a museum in here.
Yes.
How long did it take you to make this in your room?
I've been collecting fossils and rocks since I was around 7 years old.
Wow. And so after all that time, you've created this as rocks and fossils every place. That's so cool.
Right. You can learn around 4.5 billion years by just going into this room, looking at the variety of fossils and rocks that I have here.
Wow. It's amazing that you've got your own museum that you created from when you were just a kid.
Right.
Cam, I want to go check out these fossils. Can we do this now?
Yes, let's go.
All right, so Cam, tell me, how did you get interested in the geosciences? How did you become a paleontologist to begin with?
Well, as a kid, I was really fascinated with dinosaurs.
It always starts with the dinosaurs, though, right?
It always starts with dinosaurs. They are the fascination keepers of science. And growing up, I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum disorder. So it made it a little bit more easier because I can take in a lot of knowledge that and a lot of information that a lot of people can't at one time. I spent hours of going into public libraries and going into school libraries and reading as many books as I could.
Very cool.
So after that, it kind of transitioned into, around I was 7 years old, it kind of transitioned into collecting fossils and collecting rocks and minerals.
But I know you've also done a lot of work in museums.
So a lot of the fossils that I've collected over the years, I've actually been able to bring into the museums and schools. I have donated a couple of specimens to museums and schools over the years.
That's very cool. Now, there are more rocks here.
So these are rocks around 450 million years old.
And would these probably have fossils in them?
Likely, yes, but there are going to be some better locations where we can find some fossils.
You did say there's good stuff up ahead. Ooh, Cam, can we go in here?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go in there.
Cloudland Canyon State Park. There got to be fossils in this place. All right, Cam, this place is fantastic. Look at this scenery, you guys. We're at Cloudland Canyon State Park in Northwest Georgia.
Yes.
Incredible scenery. Look at all these rocks. Cam, what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at 500 million years in history.
Wow.
So the farther down you go, the older the rocks become.
Right, just like at the Grand Canyon that we saw last season. And how old are these rocks overall?
So the oldest rocks down at the very bottom are around 497 million years old.
Wow. So is this a place where we can go collect some fossils?
No, we can't go down there. It's illegal to collect at the state park, but I will show you a locality very close by here where we can actually go and collect fossils. The distant past is right below us and we can go and grab some right now. All right, Ethan, now this is the place I've been trying to take you to.
All right, this is, well, beautiful, I guess. It's not quite as pretty as the last place we just were.
No, but it's pretty significant. We can find some really cool stuff here today. So right now we're standing on rocks that were once deposited from an ancient ocean floor some 440 million years ago. And all these rocks consist of shales and limestones that were deposited in that ancient sea.
My fingers are crossed. Why don't we get digging and get your tools?
Let's go.
And look at this. Look at them all. Here. Yeah. There. Just more brachiopods, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got some really nice good ones there.
Look at those.
Yeah, those are nice.
Brachiopod. This is definitely the place to come for brachiopod.
Hey Ethan, come check this out.
What do you got?
We've got a whole big section of this ancient ocean floor.
Oh man, look at that.
Look at all the shells in this. This is what we call a depth assemblage.
Say again?
A depth assemblage. So there's one particular species on a single slab of rock.
Something happened that made a whole bunch of brachiopods die.
Right. What I think is what happened was that the brachiopods, they were already dead, and there was a storm that came through and basically deposited all the shells into this one big mess.
All right, Cam, so we've been collecting for a while now. We found quite a lot of goodies here at this site.
We found an incredible diversity of fossils today.
But the champion, the thing that we found more of than anything else, was definitely these guys, right?
Yes, the brachiopod. That really blew us away because it is a complete section or a complete fragment of a section of the ocean floor.
So Cam, do you mind if we take this part of this puzzle piece and bring it back to the studio?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
might
it.
take this one and a few other brachiopods because that's what we really found. There's one other thing we were hoping to find, didn't quite turn up today. We tried really hard, we didn't find any trilobites. But I'm wondering, to remind our friends at home, do you have an example of a perfect trilobite that you could show everybody?
Yeah, I've got this right on my arm, right here.
All right, you know this guy is serious when he's got a trilobite tattooed on his arm. Awesome, I love this. Cam, we could stay here all afternoon, but the sun is starting to set. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ethan. It's been great digging with you.
It's been great being with you on this episode of Every Rock Has a Story. You guys, we'll see you back in the studio. What an incredible journey. And it was just a dusty old outcrop on the side of a country road where Cam finally showed us all of these amazing treasures. Now, I'd like to welcome Mavi back into the studio now. Hi, Mavi, how are you?
Hi, Ethan.
So now that you've seen where this rock came from, what did you think about the story?
I think it was actually pretty surprising. Like I actually thought it came from the ocean or like deep down, but actually it was like from the ground.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. We didn't have to dig too deep to unearth that sample, but you know what's cool? If you go back 440 million years ago, that rock was on the bottom of the ocean, so your intuition was spot on. So what was your favorite part of the episode?
The part of the episode my favorite part was when he showed all the different ones, like the other fossils in his room.
Yeah, what did you think of his room?
It was actually nice. It was like dinosaur pictures and like different kinds of the dinosaur pictures and like total stuff.
Yeah, so have you ever collected a fossil yourself?
No.
All right, but would you like to?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's remember Cam's tips. You don't have to go to a fancy national park to find fossils, and you're really not allowed to collect things like fossils in national parks anyway. So ask a geologist if you know one, or ask a museum for suggestions about where to go. Or just read some books or find some websites like Cam did to find just the right spot. I'll give you some tips at the end of the episode, okay? So Mavi, is there anything else you want to share?
People say that rocks are boring, but they actually have like a story to it that like you don't even know. Like some rocks are like 1 billion years old and they still survived through that period, or they like have like a gem inside of it.
Yeah, you never know what kind of a gem you might find inside a rock. Sometimes it might be a gem like a ruby or an emerald, or it might be a fossil. But other times I would say the real hidden gem is the story itself, with all of its surprising twists and turns. Mavi, thank you so much for joining us in this episode.
Bye.
Cam took us on an amazing journey. A journey that started in his room and ended, at least for now, at that fossil-rich outcrop. Now Cam is still on his scientific journey. So is Mavi. So am I. And so are all of you. In fact, every scientist, no matter how old or how young, is on their own personal journey of discovery, driven by wonder, curiosity, and questions. And the great thing about science is that journey never ends. So whether you're at home, at school, in a museum, or out in nature, I want you to know that you are not alone in your scientific journey. No matter where you are along the path, we are all in this journey together, and you belong here too. I want to thank Mavi and Cam one more time for being part of this episode. Happy fossil hunting, and we'll see you guys next time. This is what happens when you go fossil collecting with someone like Paleo Cameron. You're going to end up with a giant box of rocks,
fossils,
which
yeah.
is. And what are you going to do with them? You're going to throw them away? Nah, we got to bring them home, and we fill up our rooms and our closets with these incredible fossils. How did that get here? That's an imposter.
Imposter, not
That
a
doesn't
real
belong
fossil.
here.
That does not belong.
This is from today, not 400 million years ago. Oh, what about that?
Oh, wow.
That's it, isn't it?
Wow.
You guys,
No,
this is it. Isn't that one?
That is not. That is a perfect Leptatina brachiopods.
Say it again.
Leptatina.
Can you look at that?
It is a type of strophominid brachiopod. This is my very first fossil that a teacher gave me.
Really?
And that fascinated me with paleontology.
Ooh, that's awesome.
And it was a trilobite, and that's why I'm so trilobite crazed, because of this fossil.
Wow.
So, and I reconnected with her like 2 years ago, and she gave me this fossil that kind of kickstarted my interest.